My topic is about barriers to English and how to overcome them. So, coming to the introduction to the listening barriers, listening is a critical component of effective communication. Barriers to listening can hinder understanding and relationship. Identify these barriers is the first step to overcoming them. And we have different types of listening barriers. There are various types of barriers that can affect listening, including physical, psychological, and emotional. Each type of barrier can manifest in different situations and contexts. Understanding these types helps in developing strategies for improvement. So, physical barriers. Physical barriers include environmental distractions such as noise and poor acoustics. These barriers can make it difficult to focus on speaker's message. Reducing physical distractions can significantly improve listening effectiveness. Physical barriers in listening are obstacles that arise from the environment or the physical condition of the listener, which can hinder effective communication. These barriers can distort or block the message being conveyed, making it difficult for the listener to fully understand or engage with the speaker. Here are some common physical barriers to listening. Or first one is the noise. Any unwanted sound that interferes with the ability to hear the speaker clarity and poor poor ushers, unfavorable sound conditions in a room or a space, and distance, physical separation between the speaker and the listener. Another one is the virtual distractions, like physical distractions that draw attention away from the speaker. And another one is the physical discomfort, uncomfortable conditions that affect the listener ability to focus. And technology issues, problem with the communication tools or devices, and like examples like poor quality of microphones or speakers. And environmental factors, external conditions that affect listening, like weather conditions during the outdoor conversations, and poor lighting, making it hard to see the speaker facial expressions or gestures. And physical impairments, hearing or visual impairments that affect the listener ability to receive the message. And and another one is the psychological barriers. Psychological barriers stem from provincials to nations and bias. Mental distractions such as stress or anxiety also falls under this category. Practicing mindfulness can help mitigate these psychological barriers. Psychological barriers in communication are internal obstacles that arise from the listener's or speaker's mental state, emotions, or perceptions. These barriers can distort or block the message, making it difficult to communicate effectively. Unlike physical barriers, psychological barriers are wrought in the mind can be more challenging to identify and address. And emotional barriers. Emotional barriers are kind of barriers where this arises from the feelings like anger, sadness, or frustration. These emotions can cloud judgment and inhibit effective listening. Acknowledging and managing emotions can enhance listening skills. Emotional barriers in communication are obstacles that arise from the emotion, feelings, or mental states of the individual involved in the interaction. These barriers can distort or block the message, making it difficult to communicate effectively. Emotional barriers are often deeply personal and can be challenging to overcome, but understanding and addressing them is crucial for healthy and productive communication, like fear and anxiety, and anger and frustration. Another is a sadness and grief, and the stress, lack of confidence, defensiveness, overexcitement, emotional baggage, and empathy gaps, mood swings. These are the different kind of things which we are comes under the emotional barriers. Then is the cultural barriers. Cultural barriers are the very crucial barrier. Cultural differences can lead to misunderstanding and misinterpretations. Language nuances and non-verbal cause vary across cultures, impacting communication. Developing cultural competence aids in bridging these gaps, like values, traditionals, and gestures. Cultural barriers in communication arise from the different differences in cultural norms, values, beliefs, and practices between individuals or groups. These barriers can lead to misunderstanding, misinterpretations, and conflicts, making effective communication challenging. Understanding and addressing cultural barriers is essential for fostering inclusively and collaboration in diverse communication. Like we have different types in cultural barriers, like language differences. This is the main thing which we see in the cultural barriers. Language. It is a uh, impact like a language differences lead to confusion and miscommunication, and non-verbal communication differences in body languages, gestures, and facial expressions, and cultural norms and values. So for every culture we have different cultural values and the norms, and stereotypes and stereotypes, preconceived notions and biases about other culture, and communication styles, differences in how people express themselves. For every state and every place we have a different kind of communication style. Like Telugu, we have different kinds of different types of Telugu. Language is overall is the Telugu, but comparatively Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we have different kinds of Telugu language. And religious and ethical beliefs, differences in religion practices or ethical standards, and social customs and attitudes towards the time, and power distance. Another is the technology and the communication, and lack of interest. A lack of interest is a topic can lead to disengagement and inattentiveness. This barrier can cause listeners to miss key points or misunderstand messages. Finding personal relevance in discussions can help engagement. Preoccupation with response. Listeners may focus too much on formulating the response rather than understand the message. The preoccupation can result in missing critical in- information. Practicing active listening techniques can help in counteract this tendency. And assumptions and stereotypes. Making assumptions about the speaker or the message can create barriers to the listening. Stereotyping can lead to biased interpretations and miscommunication. Staying open minded and curious can help reduce the impact of assumptions. And overcoming physical barriers. To overcome physical barriers, create an optimal listening environment. Minimize the background noise and ensure clear, stick for better focus. And for overcoming psychological barriers, techniques like deep breathing and mindfulness can help the clear the mind. Setting aside personal biases and judgments promotes better understanding. Taking notes can help maintaining focus and improve retention or of information. And to overcome from the emotional barriers, acknowledgement and name emotions that may be interfering with listening. Practice empathy to understand the speaker's perspective. Creating a calm and supportive atmosphere can facilitate better emotional management. Another is to overcome the cultural barriers. Engage in cultural sensitivity training to improve understanding. Ask questions and seek clarification when cultural differences arise. And another is the active listening techniques. We have different types of techniques. One is the active listening. Active listening involves fully concentrating, understanding, and responding to the speaker. Techniques include nodding, summarizing, and asking open ended questions. Regular practice of these techniques can enhance overall listening skills. And conclusion and key takeaways, barriers to the listening can seriously impact communication and relationships. Identifying and addressing these barriers is essential for effective listening. By implementing strategies to overcome barriers, individuals can become better listeners. Feel free to modify of any content or ask for additional details on. Thank you.